Ladies and gentlemen, we've all played games for quite a long time. We've seen unbelievable successes, come from behind successes, people bringing games back from the dead, really improving them. But we've also seen immediate, utter catastrophic implosions that result in the game instantaneously dying. Now, those have been increasing in frequency as of late, particularly in the FPS game genre, but these all pale in comparison to the failure that we will be discussing today. And of course I am referring to Concord. And on a slightly happier but also depressing note, we will also be discussing XDefiant, the supposed COD killer. So buckle up for this video, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be a crazy ride. Finish whatever you're eating, because you're going to have to pay full attention. Yeah, I know you're eating during this video. I can literally see you. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this catastrophe. Typically, I would start with the appetizer, which in this case is XDefiant, but we're going to start with the main course first. So let's talk about Concord. If you don't know what this game is, this is not a small game. Okay, this is a big dollar project. This cost Sony Entertainment $200 million, okay? And none of you have heard of it. And if you have heard of it, you've only heard of it because of its utter failure recently. So what's the big deal with this? Well, this might be the fastest I have ever seen a game die. I'm not even kidding. And when I say die, I do actually mean die. Because they released a statement today saying that they will be shutting the game down for all platforms and refunding everybody that bought the game. Everyone. And let me remind you once again, this game cost them $200 million, and it probably cost them more to run the recent advertising campaigns that I've been occasionally seeing. Allow me to construct the timeline for you guys so you can better understand just how unbelievable this truly is. Concord released as a full game for $40 on August 23rd, 2024. And taking a look at the Steam charts for this game, you can see the all-time peak player count of Concord on Steam didn't even break 700 people. In fact, there are estimations that claim that Concord sold less than 25,000 copies worldwide. And typically I would say fast forward to the next date, but we don't even need to fast forward because they are shutting the game down on all platforms and refunding all players on September 6th. As of this video being uploaded, that is literally 2 days from now. That means that Concord only lasted 15 days. And before I tell you why the game only lasted 15 days, allow me to amuse you with some hilarious statistics. If you take the cost of this game getting developed, which is apparently $200 million, and divide it by its peak Steam chart player count of 660, you get the whopping statistic of this game's development costing $303,030 per player. And my personal favorite statistic is if you take that same development budget and then divide it by the number of days the game survived, it cost Concord $13,333,333 per day just to be alive. This is, by all accounts, the largest video game failure I've personally seen. I don't really remember anything larger than this. Maybe you could argue Anthem, but this is also pretty insane. This makes Battlefield 2042's launch look like a godsend. So, why did Concord fail so hard? Well, first of all, comment down below if you ever heard of this game before this video. I'm going to be willing to bet people are going to be like, well, of course not. Well, I didn't hear about it. I remember playing this game a single time during its open beta, and I never heard about it. That's because they simply weren't advertising the fact this game even existed. When you combine that with the fact that this game cost $40, they put a bunch of pronouns in the game for the characters that literally nobody cared about or asked for, and it's a hero shooter, let's just say that it didn't go over too well. Now, switching gears from Concord and talking about XDefiant, the supposed COD killer that got a lot of hope, which I really just deduced to be cope, right around when this game was going to release because, oh, this game has input-based matchmaking. Oh, this game doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, even though it basically did with some sort of skill-based team balancer, but whatever. Reading a snippet from this article, you can see that XDefiant is not doing too well. Quote, supposedly, said player count has been in steady decline since that impressively positive launch period. Fewer and fewer players means less and less spending, and so Ubisoft's struggling to justify continued support. Reportedly, XDefiant, which is free to play, it should be noted, is barely hitting 20,000 combined concurrent players across all platforms. That includes PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X. Some sources have told Tom Henderson that it's probably only a matter of time until layoffs occur at Ubisoft San Francisco. The article goes on to say that the studio's toxic work culture, which was reported on ahead of XDefiant's launch, is apparently still an issue. It all sounds rather bleak. And this is not surprising, okay? I have maintained throughout all the people shitting on me, throughout all the hate, that XDefiant is not and never will be that game. It's not good enough. And I have said this in previous videos, but XDefiant was a game that purely survived off of cope, okay? Call of Duty was always going to overtake XDefiant, and the only reason XDefiant was alive or even had any relevancy at all is because people hate Call of Duty. That is not a long-term success plan. I'm sorry, it's just not, and the proof is in the player count, as this article demonstrates. People are not going to play a game just because they hate another game, okay? They have to like XDefiant, and clearly XDefiant didn't captivate much of its player base. Combine that with the fact that they had an extremely shaky launch period for their much anticipated ranked mode. Guys, you gotta capitalize on interest while it's there, and XDefiant didn't do that. The execution was poor, and as you can see, the player count, it reflects that. Basically, your game's gonna die in less than a year. It isn't as bad as Concord, but it's just one of those things where I take a look at it and I read the article and I just go, well, you know, I told you so. I just told you so. It's not really hard to see if you look past all of the cope, all of the bullshit, all of the stupid talking points, and you just look at XDefiant for what it was, which is like a 5 out of 10 free-to-play hero shooter. Okay, that's literally what the game was. It was nothing special. So overall, some pretty brutal things happening recently. Games dying left and right, minus $200 million in the comments for Sony PlayStation. My God. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, be sure to turn notifications on as well. If you have not joined the Metafy group, it is basically like a Patreon or just like a little community thing. First link in the description, click that to join it. There is an optional paid tier for people that are really big fans of my content and want to support me in an extra way. And this is actually the first video ever where I'm going to be shouting out all of the supporters from the Metafy group. Your names will be up on the screen right now. Thank you to Koza, Zuzu, PTFO, American Idiot, Frodo, Eternal Sand, Dojin, and Vens. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.